The deception. The Nexus station hung like a crystalline jewel against the velvet backdrop of space, rays from the nearby star refracting through its translucent outer shell. Captain Maya Chen stood at the observation deck, watching as the Zephyrian diplomatic vessel docked with practiced precision. Her military uniform was immaculate, adorned only with the small emblem of Earth's Space Command, a modest insignia compared to the ornate regalia worn by other species in the galactic community. Still admiring their ships, Captain? Ambassador Kira Voss appeared beside her, diplomatic portfolio clutched under one arm. You'd think after 5 years of these meetings, the novelty would wear off. Maya's lips curved into a half-smile. It's not admiration, Ambassador. It's assessment. The Zephyrians had evolved in the methane clouds of a gas giant, their bodies resembling elegant translucent jellyfish with multiple tentacular appendages and neural clusters that glowed with bioluminescent activity. Their technology reflected their biology, flowing, organic shapes that seemed to move even when stationary. The council begins in 30 minutes, Kira said, checking her datavad. Same agenda as always. They'll patronize us, we'll petition for full membership, they'll deny us, and we'll all pretend to be civil about it. At least they're consistent, Maya replied. The Galactic Confederation had welcomed humanity with open arms, or whatever passed for arms among the 100+ species that made up its ranks, when Earth achieved faster-than-light travel 70 years ago. That welcome, however, came with strict limitations. Humanity was granted observer status, allowed to trade, establish colonies on unclaimed worlds, and attend council meetings, but without voting privileges or access to advanced defensive technologies. The reason was always the same. Humans were too young, too volatile, too unpredictable. Maya and Kira made their way through the station's grand corridors, passing representatives from dozens of worlds. Some nodded respectfully, others barely acknowledged their presence. Ambassador Voss, High Arbiter Thesel of the Zephyrian Confluence, floated forward to greet them, his neural clusters pulsing with formal greeting patterns. Captain Chen, we are pleased by your punctuality. Kira offered the appropriate bow. High Arbiter, the Earth delegation is honored by your welcome. Indeed, I trust you have reviewed our response to your latest petition. We have. Kira's voice remained diplomatic, though Maya could hear the underlying tension. Though we were disappointed by the outcome. Patience, Ambassador. Your species has existed for mere moments in cosmic time. Full membership requires stability, predictability. Faisal's tentacles gestured toward a side chamber. Before the council convenes, there is a matter of some concern we wish to discuss privately. The private chamber was small by Confederation standards, though still large enough to accommodate Faisal's floating form and several other high-ranking representatives. Among them was General Varric of the Eltaran Defense Force, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under the ambient light. We've detected a Drachnid battle group moving through the Orion Arm, Varric announced without preamble, activating a holographic display that showed 12 warships in tight formation. Their trajectory suggests they are bound for Sol system. Maya's expression remained carefully neutral, though her pulse quickened. The Drachnids were not Confederation members, but rather a militant species known for aggressive expansion and technological prowess. Why would they target Earth? Kira asked, her voice steady. We have no quarrel with the Drachnid Imperium. Your planet occupies a strategic position, Fizzle responded, neural clusters pulsing rapidly, and the Drachnids likely consider you defenseless. Your orbital platforms are rudimentary by Confederation standards. General Varric's mandibles clicked in what Maya had learned was the Eltaran equivalent of a dismissive snort. The Confederation cannot directly intervene without risking full-scale war with the Imperium. As an observer world, Earth's defense options are limited. What are you suggesting? Maya asked. Evacuation of key personnel and technological assets, Varric replied. The Confederation will grant temporary asylum to a reasonable number of your scientists, leaders, and cultural representatives. Kira's diplomatic mask slipped momentarily. "You're suggesting we abandon Earth." "We are suggesting you save what can be saved." Faisal's voice was gentle but firm. "The Drachnid force will overwhelm your defenses within hours of arrival. Their technology is centuries beyond yours." Maya exchanged a glance with Kira, a silent communication passing between them. "How long until they reach Earth?" the captain asked. 72 hours at their current velocity," Varric responded. "We can have evacuation ships at Earth within 24. Kira straightened her shoulders. "The Earth delegation appreciates your concern, but we will need to consult with our government before making any decisions. If you'll excuse us, we should prepare for the council meeting." Outside the chamber, Kira activated her secure communicator, encoding a message directly to Earth's Defense Command. The code phrase she used was simple: Poseidon Rising. Maya watched the diplomat's face, noting the subtle shift from concern to resolute. "Will they be ready in time?" "They've been ready for decades," Kira replied. "We just never thought we'd need to reveal the full extent of our preparations so soon." The council meeting proceeded as expected. Formal greetings, reports on trade and exploration, discussions of border disputes between minor worlds. Earth's petition for full membership was once again deferred, this time with apologetic references to the approaching Drachnid threat. "Perhaps," High Counselor Jen of the Arcturian Dominion suggested, "this unfortunate situation highlights the wisdom of our cautious approach to integration. Earth simply isn't prepared for the complexities of interstellar politics and conflict." As the meeting concluded, General Varric approached Maya, his chidness face unreadable. "Captain Chen, I've been authorized to offer you command of one of our evacuation vessels. Your military experience would be valuable in coordinating an orderly withdrawal." Maya smiled politely. "That's a generous offer, General. But my place is with Earth's defense forces, however outmatched they might be." "Admirable but futile," Varric replied. "The Drachnids will not be gentle conquerors." "Perhaps not," Maya said. "But humanity has faced existential threats before. We're surprisingly resilient." Back on their transport vessel, Kira and Maya watched as the Nexus station diminished behind them. The ship's secure communication system chimed, indicating an incoming transmission from Earth. Admiral James Cooper's weathered face appeared on the screen. "Ambassador, Captain, I understand we have company coming." 12 Drachnid warships, Maya confirmed. ETA 72 hours. "Then it's time," Cooper said, his expression grim but determined. "Operation Oceanus is authorized. All fleet commanders have been notified. The Confederation will get their demonstration of Earth's readiness for membership, though not in the way they expected." Kira leaned forward. "What about the civilian populations?" "Emergency protocols activated worldwide," Cooper replied. "Coastal cities are implementing the shelter systems we've been building for decades. Inland populations are being told it's a drill, but essential personnel know the truth." "And our orbital platforms?" Maya asked. "Maintaining standard operations. We want the Drachnids to believe they're facing minimal resistance." Cooper's image flickered slightly. "We've spent 50 years letting the galaxy underestimate us. Now we'll show them exactly what humanity is capable of when cornered." As their ship approached Earth, Maya gazed at the blue-green planet below. To casual observation, Earth appeared peaceful, its orbital defenses modest and its military presence minimal. The perfect deception. From the depths of Earth's oceans, something stirred. In the Mariana Trench, the Philippine Sea, the Puerto Rico Trench, and dozens of other deep-water locations, massive bay doors began to open. Vessels unlike anything known to the Confederation waited in their underwater berths, crews at battle stations, weapons systems online. Earth was done playing the role of the helpless newcomer. The galaxy was about to learn why you should never underestimate a species that had survived and thrived on a world that tried to kill them daily. The Poseidon fleet was rising. The revelation. The Drachnid battle group entered the Sol system with arrogant confidence, their 12 warships arranged in a predatory formation that had broken countless planetary defenses across 3 sectors. Fleet Commander Vexar stood on the command deck of the flagship Inevitable Conquest, his scaled skin gleaming under the battle lights as he studied the tactical display. "Pathetic," he murmured, noting the sparse orbital platforms and the handful of outdated defense satellites that constituted Earth's visible protection. "This will be even easier than intelligence suggested." His second-in-command, Sub-Commander Dren, approached with a data crystal. "Final scan results, Commander. Their orbital defenses can be neutralized with minimal effort. Their atmospheric craft pose no threat to our vessels. Ground-based weapons are primitive projectile and low-yield energy technology." Vexar's jaw ridges flexed in the drachnid expression of satisfaction. "Begin the approach. Standard intimidation protocol. Destroy their lunar outpost first, then their orbital platforms. Once their space-based assets are eliminated, commence atmospheric entry. I want ground forces deployed within 6 hours." "There is one anomaly, Commander," Dren added, his tone cautious. "Our deep scans show unusual energy signatures emanating from their ocean bodies. Nothing that matches known weapon systems, but the readings are irregular." "Irrelevant." Vexar dismissed the concern with a gesture. "Likely some form of geothermal or tidal energy collection." The Confederation intelligence brief indicated humans have made modest advances in renewable energy extraction. As the Drachnid fleet approached Earth's moon, they fired a coordinated barrage that reduced the small research outpost to rubble. The message was clear: surrender or face systematic destruction. On Earth, in the underwater command center beneath the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Cooper watched the destruction of the lunar outpost with grim resolve. The facility had been evacuated days earlier, its personnel and critical research transferred to the underwater bases. "All personnel accounted for," his aide reported. "The moon base was completely evacuated." Cooper nodded, then addressed the commanders present both physically and via holographic projection. "The Drachnids have fired the first shot. All fleet commanders, execute Operation Oceanus. Emergence protocols Alpha through Epsilon are now active." Around the globe, in the deepest parts of Earth's oceans, massive structures began to move. Water churned as gigantic bay doors opened on the ocean floor, revealing cavernous launch bays that had remained hidden from extraterrestrial observation for decades. From these bays rose Earth's true defense force, the Poseidon Fleet. 300 warships of varying classes, from agile destroyers to massive dreadnoughts, all designed to operate in both deep ocean and vacuum environments. Their hulls were composed of advanced metamaterials that absorbed rather than reflected sensor scans, making them virtually invisible until they chose to be seen. On the Inevitable Conquest, an alarm suddenly blared. "Commander," the sensor officer called out, voice rising in alarm. Multiple contacts emerging from the planet's oceans. Vexar spun toward the tactical display, watching in disbelief as hundreds of signatures appeared where moments before there had been nothing but water. "Impossible. Where did they come from?" "They're rising from the oceanic depths," Dren replied, frantically working his console. "The vessels are..." "Commander, they're more advanced than anything in our fleet. Energy signatures suggest propulsion and weapon systems we've never encountered." On the command deck of the UES Leviathan, Fleet Admiral Helena Reyes watched as her vessel broke the ocean's surface, water cascading from its massive hull. Similar scenes played out across Earth's oceans as the hidden fleet revealed itself. "All vessels reporting successful emergence," her tactical officer announced. "Formation integrity at 97%. Weapons systems online and locked on Drachnid targets." "Open a channel to the Drachnid flagship," Reyes ordered, adjusting her uniform. When the connection was established, she spoke clearly and confidently. "Drachnid vessels, this is Fleet Admiral Helena Reyes of Earth's Unified Defense Force. You have committed an act of war by destroying our lunar outpost. Withdraw immediately from the Sol system or face the consequences." On the Drachnid flagship, Vexar stared at the human admiral with a mixture of shock and dawning comprehension. What deception is this? The Confederation assured us your species possessed minimal defense capability. The Confederation was given the information we chose to share, Rise replied coolly. Earth has never revealed the full extent of our military technology. We've maintained this fleet in secret for decades, knowing that in a galaxy where power determines diplomacy, we needed to be prepared. Vexar's scales darkened with rage. You cannot hope to defeat a Drachnid battle group. Our empire spans dozens of systems. Perhaps, Rise acknowledged, but you won't be returning to report on what you found here. Last warning. Leave our system now, or be destroyed. The Drachnid commander cut the transmission. All vessels, battle formation. Target their largest ships first. The Drachnid fleet reorganized with impressive speed, their weapons powering up to unleash devastating energy barrages. But the Earth fleet was already moving, implementing battle plans that had been refined through years of simulation and preparation. What followed was not the one-sided slaughter the Drachnids had anticipated, but a demonstration of humanity's true capabilities. The Earth vessels moved with shocking agility, their propulsion systems utilizing principles that allowed seamless transition between oceanic and space environments. Their weapons, gravitic disruptors and plasma lances, tore through Drachnid shields with disturbing ease. Impossible, Dren whispered as 3 Drachnid destroyers were disabled in the opening salvo. Their technology, it's beyond even the most advanced Confederation worlds. We've been deceived, Vexar snarled, watching as his carefully orchestrated invasion crumbled. Signal the retreat. All vessels, emergency jump to rally point Sigma. But the Earth fleet had anticipated this move. Specialized interdiction vessels activated gravitic anchor fields that disrupted the Drachnids' faster-than-light capabilities. There would be no escape. 2 hours later, it was over. 7 Drachnid vessels destroyed, 5 disabled, and boarded by Earth's marine forces. The invasion had been repelled with minimal casualties on the human side. In the aftermath, as Earth's fleet maintained defensive positions around the planet, an emergency session of the Confederation Council was convened. The Nexus station buzzed with rumors and speculation as representatives from 100 worlds tried to comprehend how they had so drastically underestimated humanity. Ambassador Kira Voss and Captain Maya Chen stood before the council, no longer as supplicants, but as representatives of a power that had earned the galaxy's attention. For 70 years, Kira addressed the silent chamber. Earth has petitioned for full membership in the Confederation. For 70 years, we have been denied, patronized, and underestimated. While publicly accepting our role as observers, we privately prepared for the day when we would need to defend ourselves without assistance. High Arbiter Theisel's neural clusters pulsed with agitation. You deliberately missiled the Confederation about your technological capabilities and military assets. Such deception violates the spirit of our community. With respect, Arbiter, Maya responded. Earth signed the Treaty of New Geneva, which required us to disclose our orbital and land-based military assets. That treaty made no mention of underwater capabilities, an environment unique to our world that we strategically utilized. General Varick, who had earlier suggested Earth's evacuation, leaned forward. The sophistication of your vessels exceeds known human engineering capabilities. You must have had assistance. No, Kira stated firmly. Every ship, every weapon, every system was developed by human scientists and engineers. We simply chose not to share our innovations until necessary. And now, asked Counselor Zhen, what does Earth demand in light of this revelation? Not demands, Kira corrected. Proposals. First, immediate reclassification of Earth as a full member world with all associated rights and responsibilities. Second, a revised defense treaty acknowledging Earth's right to maintain its independent military forces while contributing to Confederation security. Third, a technological exchange program, fair and reciprocal. The council chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices and translator outputs as representatives debated among themselves. Eventually, Thezzel raised his appendages for silence. The Confederation must reconsider its assessment of humanity, he acknowledged. Your species has demonstrated both technological prowess and strategic foresight. The matter of your membership status will be put to immediate vote. 3 days later, Earth was formally recognized as a full member of the Galactic Confederation. The revelation of the Poseidon fleet had fundamentally altered the balance of power, forcing a revaluation of humanity's place in the cosmic hierarchy. As Ambassador Kira Voss signed the membership treaty, Captain Maya Chen, now promoted to Admiral, stood at her side, watching as the galaxy's perception of humanity transformed from dismissive tolerance to cautious respect. "Do you think they'll ever trust us again?" Kira asked quietly as they left the signing ceremony. "Trust is earned over time," Maya replied. "But they'll never underestimate us again. Sometimes that's more valuable than trust." On Earth, the Poseidon fleet returned to its underwater bases, ready to rise again if needed. But the message had been sent across the stars. Humanity was not merely a newcomer to be patronized or a weak world to be conquered. They were a force to be reckoned with, a species that had hidden its strength beneath the waves until the moment was right to reveal that Earth was far from defenseless. The galaxy would never look at the blue planet the same way again.